What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Bodacious Rant with Burn and Rye. Oh man, summer has been weird this year, just random thought, because it's like, this weekend it's been really hot in the day, but then at night, like around 5 or 6, it just gets super cold, and I don't like it. I need some consistency in my weather, because I saw a commercial where somebody's like, what, are you guys tired of summer? Like, there hasn't been a summer yet, but I'm losing my train of thought. Marvel had a very interesting year. Had a bit of a rocky start with Captain America. Picked it right back up with Thunderbolts, on my opinion, even though I think that movie may have underperformed, I think. I don't really remember. But it's nice to say that Marvel has resurrected another franchise or group of characters that I think people have been wanting to see for a while, and that is with the Fantastic Four: First Steps, directed by Matt Shakman, starring Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things, and Quiet Place: The Beginning last year, and Boss Macrack. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, I can't say it right now. Bernie, do you know the guy's name off the top of your head?
Yeah, Eben Moss Backrack.
Thank you, Bernie. I can't say it right now. Too many.
Just call him Cousin. He's Cousin.
Yes, I'm just gonna stick with Cousin. Thank you, Bernie. That's way better. Yeah, he's from The Bear, and for those of you who saw Netflix's Punisher, he was Micro in those first 2 seasons. So, this is a non-spoiler review, so please do. If you guys did like the movie, or if you just like listening to us talk, you like my new polo, courtesy of my fam, feel free to give us a like to show your support. Ring the bell for notifications, in case you want to stay tuned with what we do, and of course subscribe just to engage in all of it. We appreciate you all for that. So the trend with superhero movies in the last few years, which I actually don't mind, essentially takes place after the heroes have been introduced, and it's actually a formula that's been working really well, or at least for characters that have had their origin stories done already and all that stuff. So in this movie, the Fantastic Four is the world's heroes essentially, and they're in a very prosperous part of the multiverse in Marvel, but a new threat comes along. That's when Julia Garner's Silver Surfer warns them that Galactus is coming, so they have to save the world from Galactus, who's also played by the famous Robert Eggers. I'm just kidding. No, it's Ralph Ineson. It's just an inside joke between me and Byrne. So, but he's in a lot of Robert Eggers movies actually. So dumb joke, but yeah, because Fantastic Four growing up, they had the first 2 movies. I mean, I think there's been a movie, but that was like 50 years ago. And
then a really old one. So
yeah,
it's like the fourth time's the charm.
100% 4 times the charm. Because the first 2 that we grew up with were the ones with Ewan Grumford, Chris Evans, Jessica Alba, and Michael Chiklis. From The Shield and stuff. So, and looking back, they're not the best movies by far, but they have some cute moments, and they're kind of cheesy. It's kind of, I like to, when me and Byrne talk about these older movies, or people in general, I always like to say that transition from the 90s to the 2000s, like with superhero stuff especially, it's like they didn't know what to go with. They were either super dark or super cheesy, and those movies were definitely cheesy, but, the best part of those 2 movies was the Silver Surfer, played by... voiced by Lawrence Fishburne, I believe, and then played by the actor who's in all of Guillermo del Toro's movies, a super skinny guy. I can't think of his name either. I am blanking a lot today. And then Galactus in the second one was just a giant cloud that ate planets, which a lot of people did not care for. So it's just kind of funny thinking about it, but this was a very fun movie. I'm glad that Marvel's had some wins again, back to back too. Because last year all we had was Deadpool and Wolverine, but this time we got Thunderbolts and this, and now I'm looking forward to next year and seeing what else Marvel can come up with. So, Byrne, what did you happen to think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this movie. Coming into it, I was very much looking forward to it. The cast I was really excited about. The director behind this, Matt Shakman, who done a lot of TV. Did his first Marvel stint with WandaVision, which was great. And as a big fan of It's Always Sunny, I was very much looking forward to what he would do with a movie like this. And overall, I think they succeeded. I think this movie is definitely one of those. It's one of those safe bets. I feel like you have a really good cast of characters. You have a pretty by the numbers, pretty standard plot, but it really gives way for the visuals to sort of take center stage. That's one of the biggest things walking away from this movie that I really, really enjoyed more than anything else was the set design, the costume design, and just the way that they've transported us to this world. This very retro, futuristic '60s vibes, almost like a live action Jetsons or The Incredibles. Very much felt like that. So really, really dubbed the aesthetic of this movie. So that was a huge positive for this one. And yeah, I think the characters overall really worked. I think, they all fit the characters well. Pedro did a pretty good job as sort of like an anxiety induced neurotic, Reed Richards. I feel like this version of Reed and sort of the Marvel Rivals version of Reed have done a good job in taking us back to what the character used to be and not really what people think of him now as more of like a very cold, very just like work-minded person. Like, no, Reed has always been the family man at heart, and I think that this Reed really much captures that. And Vanessa Kirby, fantastic as Sue Storm, does a really good job of being the mother of the group, in many ways, more than one. Really a good foundation for her. I really loved the visualization of her powers. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, she she does get some down and dirty. I think she's very much the most dangerous person in this group, and I'm glad to see that they really leaned into that and maybe hinting at certain things that with her character that comic fans will know of. And I really did dig her performance in that. And the other two, Joseph Quinn and Eben Moss-Backrack as Johnny and Ben. I thought they were good. The movie doesn't really give them a whole lot to do. Eben Moss-Backrack probably the most. It feels like there's a subplot there that was cut because there was some hints to him as a character, but he doesn't really get to do much, while the other characters feel like they do have their moments to shine. So that was something I was very disappointed by. But in terms of them embodying their characters, yeah, I mean, he brings that sort of humanity, that soulfulness to Ben, and Joseph, does bring that sort of that spark to the group, that light, very much not that sort of womanizing loser, like annoying person that Chris Evans sort of played that version of Human Torch. This one's a lot more grounded and a lot more of a team player and someone who wants to stick out in the group, not just for reasons that aren't related, but because he wants to, just be part of the group and contribute in an equal fashion. So I thought that was a really a cool twist on the character. And the villains were okay, I'll say. Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer was cool, very cool visualization, really cool uses of her powers. And Ralph Ineson as Galactus was very cool visually and imposing and had all those elements that could make him great. But I think he falls into the sort of Marvel thing where it's an okay villain. It's not bad, it's not horrible, but it's not anywhere near the top that you would think of when it comes to characters like Killmonger or Thanos or the Shang-Chi's villain Wenwu. Nowhere near on that end, but not like anywhere, and not anyway bad. Let's just say he's not the cloud monster from the other Fantastic Four, but he's much better than that. But overall, I wish we could have gotten more with those two characters and Ben Grimm in particular.
Yeah, that's very fair. First off, I do appreciate the Jetsons because I was thinking about that too when I saw. I was like, oh my god, this is like the Jetsons, and oh man, I had it in my head, but very futuristic. But I would say like the Jetsons and Captain America: First Avenger, where it had that. It kind of almost had like a hazy filter to it, just to kind of like almost like you're blinded by the beauty of it all kind of feel, but very futuristic at the same time. So I did like that. With Galactus, I know you pointed that out, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't know too much about the character in general to really judge him on it. I personally thought there were some really interesting scenes. One in particular that was like, man, Galactus is literally like, I thought Thanos is bad. Like Thanos is good, great speech maker, but man, Galactus has just got pure size and just godlike powers. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, Julia Garner's Silver Surfer, not too much for her to do, unfortunately. I feel like maybe they did struggle in balancing the characters a little bit because everybody kind of had their own thing, but it was definitely more about Reed and Sue. Essentially, they were definitely the cornerstone of this movie, and not a bad thing, but it would be nice if they balanced it out. And I will say The visuals in this overall were amazing. The CGI with Ben and like Galactus and stuff, like kind of basically near the end, it was kind of looking a little hokey in some scenes, in my opinion. Kind of following that traditional Marvel thing where sometimes the budget the budget keeps going down and down till near the end of the movie. Essentially, that's the vibe I get with some of them. But no, Ben Grimm throughout. I think Ben and Silver Surfer were easily my favorite visual characters in this one. Just his design was great. Hearing the rocks like mashed together while he's walking, and then just Silver Surfer's look was just seamless, just amazing. My only thing would be with this one, actually, I can't really think of anything bad. It'd just be super nitpicky. Where like there is a post and mid and end credit scenes. Unfortunately, I did not stay for the end credit just because Byrne kind of told me what it was, and I saw it super late, so I kind of felt like, is it even worth staying for? The mid credit scene wasn't bad, but it just doesn't really do much for like, I guess it is supposed to lead to Avengers Doomsday, but not like, oh my god, I had to go see that kind of thing. So for those of you who do want to go watch this, at least the first time, definitely stay for the end, mid and post credit scenes. And if you're crazy like me and want to see it multiple times, you may not have to watch those. So overall, I'm gonna give this movie a hard 4 out of 5. It's nice to know that Marvel is definitely getting back to the quality aspect instead of quantity. So that's a really good feeling, and I just can't wait to see Avengers Doomsday and what's coming out in the next couple years for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is easily the best live action Fantastic Four movie. Not that that was a huge bar to hurdle, but if we're not counting,
not a high bar at all, Bernie.
No, not a high bar at all. But I guess if we're not counting the Incredibles movies as pseudo Fantastic Four movies, this would probably be third. But yeah, in terms of the live action, easily, this one takes the cake. As for all the reasons we mentioned, I thought the cast was great. I thought the visuals were great. Michael Giacchino's score was really good. I had a lot of fun listening to that one. Yeah, overall, this is a really well packaged movie. Even if it did leave me wanting a little bit more on the character front, this is more of a plot centric movie where they're kind of going from plot point to plot point, and in that sense, it's safe, it's fun, it's good. I wanted a little bit more out of that aspect, but the other sides of it sort of boosted up for me. So yeah, for me, this one's going to be a 3 out of 5, a high 3 out of 5. Really enjoyable movie while watching it. Definitely happy that Marvel at least has 2 good movies back to back, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what else they do going forward. They definitely have that lineup coming in with Avengers Doomsday and a few other things, but hopefully after these 2 movies, they can keep the ball rolling a little bit. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they play their cards right, stop rushing these movies and stuff like that, lack of scripts or whatever, then yeah, I think they can keep doing that. So definitely looking forward to seeing more. And also the plus sides is because I'm a trailers guy. We got to see Avatar: Fire and Ash, which comes out in December. So for those of you who maybe aren't sold on our review, if you like Avatar franchise, you're gonna check that out. But anyways, yeah, now we're going into August. Naked Gun is coming out, so I'm really excited for that. Actually, I kind of feel like maybe I should watch the old ones before that, but. Until next time, everyone, stay bodacious and just keep on ranting for us.
Absolutely, everybody. Be good, be safe, and as always, we'll catch you all on the next one.